Hi there, traders. This is Brad Gilbert with FX Market Insight for Monday, the 6th of July. All right, now coming out of the last week's session, just having a quick look at the US non-farm payrolls. Now, the numbers pretty big, but not the maximum, sort of middle of the range sort of stuff. If anything, the unemployment rate was slightly better and average earnings slightly worse. But you know what? Looking at the equity markets, and this is where we've been seeing a fair amount of direction, it's like the market doesn't really know what to do with the data, right, at the moment. And it's probably coupled with the fact that, just give you a look at the news that's coming around. I don't want to sort of go on about it too much because it's sort of pretty boring. But when you do have a look at, the various things that are impacting, soaring US coronavirus cases, hospitalizations, obviously the 4th of July holiday, we had Friday, US markets shut down. So it's one of those things that I think we're in a bit of flux here at the moment. So just coming back to just focusing on the dollar itself or the dollar index, you can see there's some weakness in the dollar, okay, to start the week. Nothing very clear from end of last week's trading. And if I give you a look at the other pairs, you'll see it's a little bit more prominent, but still, this is all the noise is on the hourly charts. Right, you see the Aussie just going up a little bit, same as the Kiwi, Euros tweaking to the top side, and Sterling, right? It's running its own race. It's pretty wild. We're having these massive moves down, back up, pretty much sort of reminiscent of Brexit and all the various outcomes there. Oil back above $40, and that's continued to put downward pressure on dollar CAD. I expect that to continue, and dollar yen, well, it's just like the sleeping giant, just sitting there, just trading sideways. So right now, there's a little bit of dollar weakness in the market. Is it going to hold? I don't know, because if the whole US thing, right? So when the whole world shut down, the US became the default safe haven, right? So at the moment, I think the lockdowns, I mean, I know they're here and there, but it's going to be independent of where the lockdowns are and what impact they're having. From everything that I've read, it looks like just about every economy is hanging on by a thread, right? So they've got all these stimulus programs. We don't really know what's going on in the US. You've got elections coming up. You've got coronavirus cases, some states locking down. It looks like a bit of a mess. And that's pretty much what the direction, it just isn't there, as in the clear momentum that I usually sort of crave isn't there. Like if I just give you a look at a couple of different things, the dollar index, right? So if you look at the dollar index here, I mean, it's just banging away sideways. It's not really going anywhere. Okay. And you can see here on the longer term chart, there's no sort of real clarity. You come across to, actually dollar Swiss is showing some good signs. There's a couple of charts here which have pretty close and good levels. Now, you can see the downward pressure here on the dollar. Now it's Monday. Okay. US holiday Friday, so the market's pretty fickle, but we've got some downward pressure here on the dollar. Dollar Swiss looks like the best entry on that side of things. And out of the other pairs, the Kiwi is coming up right up close to a long-term resistance line. A break of that level should see it run to the top side. Now the other pairs, they aren't that clear with regards. Well, the resistance lies, support and resistance isn't that close, so we have less to work with. All right. So, some are suggesting that euro goes up. Well, it's got a fair bit of work to do. I know it's only going to go up another 30 points to break through 112.90, but you know what? Real resistance is at 113.88. So anyway, what I'm trying to get across is like we're starting to see a bit of dollar movement. I don't think it's real because I'm just wondering whether the dollar comes back as a safe haven or, are these problems just in the US? And then maybe we see the other pairs rally. So I'm still trying to work that out. And what I need to do is let the markets open up. We need to get all that fresh news in, global news in across all the networks, and then sort of put that into a pot, and we'll see how things come out the other side. But at this stage, there's, I don't know, it's just a little bit messy, and it's this coronavirus sort of situation, this wave 2, which it looks like the authorities or the governments across the board look very happy to be sort of rolling back out. Anyway, that's where we are at the moment. I don't see too many positive, like really active things I could sink my teeth into. If you look at the Forex Daily Market Insight, you'll see what I'm looking at here. Pretty much sideways for all the major pairs. I can't see anything that's really getting aggressive. As I said, Kiwi looks like it's getting close to a break to the top side, and Dollar Swiss a break to the downside. But until it happens, we've seen a lot of these setups and just stalled and come back into the range. So I'm sort of just waiting for the moment, and we'll see how that plays out. Now, as far as the fundamentals, well, looking at the non-farm payrolls, it's pretty evident that, it's some things are coming into place, some things aren't. We've got, there's a bunch of things coming out. The German factory orders, there's a few German numbers coming out early in the week, actually. But today, okay, construction PMI out of the UK and the ISM non-manufacturing numbers out of the US. That's something tangible, but does it impact or is it going to be overshadowed by all the weird geopolitical news that's going on in the background? It's going to be a bit of a line ball decision. If there is significant variance in these numbers, right, we're talking huge variance, then that's when they will impact and it will dominate the news that's coming out. And you've got the Bank of CAD business outlook survey there as well. That can't be too red hot, you wouldn't think. All right, guys. Well, that's it from me. I'm thinking of doing a few updates to this page this week. We'll see how see what I can come up with. All right. Have a good trade week. We'll catch you later on. Cheerio.